And we're back here on Mark Rogers TV, lining up Tim Tebow against all the backup quarterbacks in the NFL. All the number 2 guys on the depth chart currently for every NFL team. We've lined up Tebow against all the backups in the AFC. We now move on to the NFC. And again, we invite you into the conversation. Should Tebow be given a chance to start somewhere? Is he a career backup? Should he be playing another position? Or should he be on some mission trip somewhere? All right. Tebow against Kyle Orton of Dallas. Orton, of course, is the guy that was the starting quarterback in Denver before Tebow got the shot, led the Broncos on the playoff run a couple seasons ago. He had 3 really solid starting seasons, did Orton, in the NFL. Passer ratings of 86 and 87, in that range. We think Kyle Orton, despite the decision by John Fox at the time, Kyle Orton over Tim Tebow. Okay, for the Giants, you've got David Carr. This guy, the number 1 overall pick, way back when, 12 seasons ago, coming out of Fresno State. 5 horrible, mostly horrible starting seasons for Houston. Of course, they were an expansion team, so he didn't have a whole lot to work with there. His best passer rating was 83.5, generally in the mid to low 70s for David Carr. And he's barely thrown a pass in the NFL since 2007. So right now, we think Tim Tebow is better than David Carr. All right, on to Philadelphia, Nick Foles. And of course, Matt Barkley is going to be in the mix, but we're going to save our judgment of Barkley, put Nick Foles in that number 2 position, coming off of 2012, in which he had to play in place of Michael Vick, who is, of course, injured. And Foles, 2012, 1,700 yards, 6 TDs, 5 picks. Tough call here. Tebow, though, takes care of the football. He, of course, inspires his teammates. We think that's overblown, but it's not completely a myth. He does inspire teammates. He does inspire teams to wins. He does play in the clutch. And, of course, he is a dual threat. We like Tebow over Foles. For Washington, Kirk Cousins came in and really made the difference in a couple football games. He played a full start against the Cleveland Browns and posted big numbers in a 17-point win. Kirk Cousins also took over for an injured RG3 on the final drive against the Ravens in Washington, threw 2 big, huge completions and got them into the end zone on the final play of the game, converted the 2-pointer with a great throw, and led the game-winning field goal drive. So Kirk Cousins, in his brief experience in the NFL, has done a nice job. We like him over Tim Tebow, Cousins over Tebow. All right, on to the Bears. You've got Josh McCown, who's played for 11 years, 37 TDs career, 44 picks, and Matt Blanchard, who's done nothing. We like Tebow over both Blanchard and McCown. McCown has had an indistinguished 11-year career in the NFL. All right, on to Detroit. Shaun Hill out of Maryland, way back when, had significant playing time between 2008 and 2010. Check out the seasons with San Francisco and Detroit. Shaun Hill played pretty well. 34 TDs, 22 picks. We like Shaun Hill over Tim Tebow. All right, if this was back in college, Graham Harrell would have something to talk about. This guy owns tons of passing records in the Big 12 and nationally. Tons of yardage, tons of TDs, and of course that Texas Tech offense. Well, since he's come to the NFL, those monster records have stayed back in college, and he's been watching Aaron Rodgers. Take Tebow over Graham Harrell. All right, to Minnesota, Joe Webb. Did you see the Green Bay playoff game? Tebow over Webb. All right, Atlanta Falcons. We've got Dominique Davis or Seth Dagey or now Sean Renfree, the rookie out of Duke. Renfree, Dagey, Davis. Yeah, Tebow's not a starter, but much better than these 3 guys for the Falcons. Hopefully Matt Ryan can stay upright for Falcons fans this season. On to Carolina and Derek Anderson. Had a huge 2007, 29 touchdowns, did throw 19 picks. And if you really dissect the games, he lived off like 3 monumental efforts that season to get a big, big contract from the Browns, and then he let down the city of Cleveland. 53 TDs, 55 picks career, despite that 1 big season. That's a bad ratio in this day's NFL. Tim Tebow right now is better than Derek Anderson. On to New Orleans, Seneca Wallace, 21 career starts. In particular, played really well as a dual threat in 2008, given the starting job because of injuries and poor play. 11 TDs, 3 picks that season. We really like Seneca Wallace making plays longtime quarterback there at Iowa State, Seneca Wallace, we give the nod over Tim Tebow. All right, on to Tampa Bay. Mike Glennon's the project out of North Carolina State. The backup right now is Dan Orlovsky. Okay, automatically Tim Tebow. Dan Orlovsky authored one of the worst plays in NFL history, running out of the back of the end zone for the Lions way back when. And besides that play, hasn't played too well. Tebow over Orlovsky. In Arizona, we've got Drew Stanton. He didn't really play that well in the Big Ten at Michigan State. 4 starts with Detroit, 4 TDs, 9 picks. Tim Tebow over Drew Stanton. We've got Kellen Clemens and Austin Davis at St. Louis. Clemens and Davis. Tebow wins again. San Francisco picked up Colt McCoy, who looked to be a starting quarterback in Cleveland. To Colt McCoy's defense, not many weapons, porous pass blocking line there in Cleveland. But if you watch Colt McCoy play, you admire the grit, the toughness. He's taken huge hits. Of course, the famous one against the Steelers, but huge hits all the time, but just not the size nor the arm strength to play in the NFL. Tebow's got a stronger arm than McCoy. The mechanics are bad. McCoy's mechanics are better than Tebow's. And McCoy can move around, but not to the extent of Tebow. That's a tough call. But after watching Colt McCoy play extensively in Cleveland, we like McCoy over Tebow in this one. And finally, we go to Seattle, which for some reason, Seattle's made all sorts of great personnel decisions over the past few years, but the latest, picking up Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn came out of Notre Dame, certainly overrated. Threw a lot of wobbly passes at Notre Dame, did not throw the big passes, the NFL-type passes to the sideline and in the seam that you have to throw. And again, that sideline route where you have to make that long throw across the field, Brady Quinn could never do it. The Browns traded up for him. That was a mistake at number 22. Brady Quinn failed in Cleveland. He's failing in Kansas City and now on to Seattle. 2 touchdowns, 8 picks. We know that the Kansas City passing game's bad, but again, in this day's NFL, to throw 2 TDs and 8 picks, Brady Quinn has never been able to do anything but dump the football to the tight end, and the running backs cannot get the ball downfield. Tebow, at least, he can rear back and heave it downfield. The mechanics are not good, but he's working on them, and he can throw the long ball with some gusto. We like Tebow over Brady Quinn. All right. That's the big Tim Tebow controversy. Is he a starter? Is he a backup? Should he play another position? Or do we put him on the mission trail? That's not just for me to decide. That's for you to decide. We want to hear from you on Mark Rogers TV.